So gang, been thinking about this for a while, but it's been a fair few months since I last did a sales video. With a lot of you here subscribed specifically for the sales content, I thought I'd throw you guys a bone and ask a question that I've been thinking about for a while really, which is, are sales jobs still indeed worth it in 2023, 2024 and beyond? In the video today then guys, I'm going to break down some of the key trends that I'm noticing this year and going forward, and just to sort of see if sales careers are still valid for all of us working in the industry. So let's jump into it. The earnings. So let's be perfectly honest guys, most of us are purely interested in sales, mainly for the amount of money that you can earn in the industry. And who the hell would take all the stress and all the worry that comes along with working in sales if you were just going to be paid the minimum wage there? Not this guy. The good news then is that with the rise of tech sales jobs and the amount of money that you can earn through sales jobs is most definitely booming. On average then, the average SDR will earn around about £30,000 or $38,000 with absolutely zero experience. With a couple of years of experience, this can massively increase your base to around about $50,000 or so. Sales managers instead can earn significantly more, heading towards that six-figure mark. And the good news with sales is obviously the commission, whereby you can earn an additional 20% to 100% of your annual salary in bonuses and commission and all those different lovely things that we love. On top of this, tech sales in particular is a massively growing sector and is predicted to grow rapidly over the next decade or so, with many brand new tech startups that are starting every single day that are desperate for qualified salespeople there. So it's a really good market from a sales perspective. The work environment. So while the amount of money that you can earn in sales is fairly decent, what about the actual work environment? After all, sales doesn't have the best rap when it comes to things like, managing your well-being or your mental health or any of those kinds of different elements, historically at least. So is this still the case in 2023? Honestly, it's definitely a mixed bag. Now, I've been quite blessed and I've been quite lucky in the fact that, all the organizations that I've worked for over the past 10 years or so, which is kind of scary to think about, greybeard definitely coming in, have all been really, really good actually. They've all really looked after me. I've really thoroughly enjoyed them. They're all beautiful, supportive workplaces. Some of my other friends, unfortunately, however, who also work in sales don't have the same experience, having, very erratic bosses, very unrealistic sales targets. The one major factor then when it comes to sales, unfortunately, regardless of how nice your company is just the general amount of stress that you will feel working in sales day in, day out. Sales, sadly, is very much still a business of what have you done for me lately. And unlike other jobs where it's kind of hard to determine, how you're actually contributing towards a business success, we're targeted on numbers. We're targeted on the bottom line. And as a result of that, it just makes it much easier to see who's working from home and actually working and who's working from home eating pizza and playing Mortal Kombat. You guys know who you are. You need to stop that. The progression. If you're watching this channel, then I have no doubt in my mind that you're super forward thinking, you're super determined to want to achieve and grow in your career, which is amazing to hear. So how exactly does sales stack up in terms of helping you progress throughout your career? This again is something that I've been blessed with quite a lot throughout my 10 years or so working in sales, having worked pretty much any sales job you can think of, whether it's sales management, sales rep, sales consultancy, account executive, account manager. There's so many words nowadays for it, aren't there? That said, your own personal level of progression is really massively going to be determined by the organization that you work for. Most sales jobs then start off in the SDR capacity and then eventually move into the account executive / consultancy side of things, or management there, depending on what route you definitely prefer. That said, these roles most definitely won't just be handed directly to you, and instead what you need to be doing is actually doing that job before it's given to yourself. For example, if you want to become an account executive, are you listening to other account executives' calls? Are you able to deliver a tech demonstration off your own back? These are all really, really important questions that you most definitely need to ask yourself. Finally, the last major thing that we want to talk about today is just how future-proof are sales jobs. Now, this again is going to be entirely dependent on the sector that you work in. So for example, if you're working in retail sales, fortunately, just because retail stores are closing down, that might be something that might not be a viable solution in 10, 15, 20 years from now. White collar sales, white collar tech sales, essentially the job that I do, however, should still be going strong a decade from now. However, that being said, the way in which you approach your prospects will most definitely be changing. For example, back in 2007, it would only take around about 4 cold calls or so to get a hold of a prospect. Now, as a minimum, it's taken around about 8 individual touch points just to get a hold of them. On top of this, the rise of social media networks like LinkedIn, for example, or AI tools like ChatGPT just means that we have to be much, much more creative in terms of how we actually outreach to our prospects. Having a multiple channel approach to market as opposed to just relying on cold calls or cold emails, for example. The recommendation. So overall, guys, my recommendations are that sales jobs are still most definitely worth it for 2024. Our two main caveats to this, however, are number one, you get a job in tech sales if you can. And number two, you're constantly learning, you're constantly training and developing the new ways to market. Because with the rise of technology, things are changing so rapidly in what people respond to that we really need to be ahead of the game. So there you have it, blogging family. Really hope you enjoyed that one. As always, however, if you are interested in more videos around, blogging, side hustles, personal development, sales, of course, any of those different elements, absolutely smash the like and subscribe button. It genuinely does help out the channel. And until next week's video, I'll leave you to it, gang. All the best for now. Have a good one. Bye.